Good morning. Welcome to Money and Mindset with the doctors, Dr. Money and Dr. Story Genius. Good morning. Good
Good
morning,
morning.
PJ.
How are you? How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Good, good. We're all ready to start today.
Yes, yes,
Mindset.
absolutely. Yes, so here we are again, second day of the year of 2021. But before we jump into conversation about our topic today, what happened yesterday in your country?
Didn't I tell you that it's time to leave? You know why I left before? Do you know why I was in Jamaica?
Is
Do you
this
know why I
time?
told you, yes, come with me. Come.
Yes. Is this a sign? Are we ready to, hit the international button and
What
be
have
there?
I been saying? What have I been saying?
Yeah, I think you're talking the right talk. Suddenly,
My mindset has already been there.
absolutely.
And it's going to get worse before it gets better. I hate to say it, but this isn't the end of this.
That part is unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, the storming of the Capitol. I'm from Washington, D.C., so that hurt my heart. I love museums. I love the history, the historical presence that's there. And that storming of the Capitol was, I've never seen anything like that. And I've never seen the response be so minimal.
Yeah.
And it tells you distinctly this was not just about Biden or Trump. This is blatant racism. Yeah. And it's just right there. And if there's any attorneys out there who know how to do a class action suit for discrimination, because to me, this was discriminatory, and they are just grieving over this person who was storming through the doors and got shot. And we know if it were people of color, I hate to say this because I wish it wasn't true, but if there were people of color, there would have been a lot more fatalities.
Of course. They would have just sat back and it would have been gun practice, shooting range. Just let's see what's up. Let's see who we can get. Right.
If these people are not prosecuted for sitting in seats of Congress people, destroying, vandalizing on their own leaders, not even talking about him inciting this, but he has laws on the books that says you're going to get a minimum of 10 years if you vandalize any government property. He put that order in.
Yeah, of course.
So I want to see the 10 years. And they got pictures and they have facial identity. I know they have facial identity because of all the fraud that's been happening and all these other things. Right now, when you do something, they scan your full face right here on the computer. So I want to see what happens. This is going to be very interesting.
So, Annetta, yes, several laws broken. I'm with you, Mama. It's like, yes.
So we better see some action taking place. Absolutely. We sure better. But it's a sad day in America.
Yeah, it was very unsettling. And the fact of the matter is that on one hand, I'm actually a little thankful that it happened early, because I've been feeling like there was a strong sense. You can feel the sense of anger in the air, and sort of thinking leading up to Inauguration Day that there would be a big, brouhaha on that particular day, which I think from this, now there will be perhaps more security protection. They'll manage that particular event, I think, a lot differently than maybe they would have, hopefully, had this series of events had not taken place yesterday.
Right. Absolutely. So it's got to be managed differently, and hopefully it will be. And we'll see. We'll see if they do it differently.
Absolutely.
What are we talking about today?
Today, what we decided to do is, again, we wanted to kick off the year early and kick off the year right, and also create some exciting incentives in order to prepare yourself for the year. So I thought, there had been someone had circulated a post on their Facebook for Christmas. It was a gentleman who had gifted his two daughters rather, with purses, but he gave them designer purses full of money. And what he used was the money pledge. There's a pledge that has been circulated where for 52 weeks, you save an amount each week. And at the end of those 52 weeks, you have accumulated a certain amount of money. And basically what happens is you start the first week of the year and maybe you start with $1. And then the second week you make it $2. And so each week you double what it is you're saving. And by the end of 52 weeks, if you use the dollar, you end up with $1,378. And so I thought,
to use 1,317. How much? 1,300.
I think $1,378 is the amount that you end up with.
That's a nice amount of money to end up with.
Yeah. So, I figured that for companies, or I think people, look, if I were to hit Starbucks every day, I can guarantee that that's a $5 to $10 a day spend, right? So that's like, if I did Starbucks, that's somewhere between $25 and $50 a week. I personally don't do Starbucks. On a regular basis, it's a very rare treat. I prefer to make my coffee at home so I could do my pour over and all my fancy stuff. And I'm still on the Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee, by the way, from our trip.
Still have some?
I'm on my last bag, so it's definitely time to go back and get a refill. So what I wanted to do today was to share the beautiful jar that I located. And so we want to add 2 additions to the money jar. One, that you can either do it in increments of $1, $3, $5, or $9. And I'll post to the website a spreadsheet to let you know what you'll have at the end. And then also I have sample little Post-it notes. So we wanted to do 2 things. We want you to put your money in, and we also want you to put in a positive affirmation. And so we figured that basically by the end of the year, you'd have a nice little jar of money, and you'd have a lot of great money associations that you have put in this jar to go with your money. And so you'd have a rocking 2021.
So we did this mason jar idea with my family some years ago, and we encourage our kids to do it. My nieces and my nephews and their kids and everything. And it's a little money jar. This was our gratitude jar for 1 year. And I still have coins in it from that particular year. Let's see, how do I get it here?
Gratitude. Oh, here we go. I love it. Look at that.
We had in here, and this wasn't the concept that Dr. Money's talking about, but this concept was when you come in every day, you put a note and $1 in. And it was just, you put your gratitude note in to say what you were grateful for, and you put $1 in. And at the end, you have all these notes. And the other part is, when you come in and you've had a bad day and you're sort of like, I just don't know if I could do this today, you get to pull a note out and you can go through your notes over time and remember, grateful for a working computer. Hey, computer. That is a good little note, and so you can go back over these notes. Actually, I think I'll do that sometime today as I'm doing my vision board event on the 24th. This is a good reminder for how you see the world and looking into this,
Absolutely.
I'm grateful for my jeans, that I look cute in my jeans.
So a little vanity in there too, that works. Absolutely.
On jean. I'm grateful for my jeans, that I look cute in my jeans. This was a year that I was losing a lot of weight. So that's a reminder of those type of things. And the gratitude jar really helps. So now I leave it because I do Airbnb. I used to do Airbnb, but I leave this in the laundry room because when people ask me if they can use the washing machine and dryer, because that's not included in my Airbnb, I say, well, you can leave $1 and a gratitude note, and then you can do that. So some of these notes might not be mine.
But I guess your guests are grateful to be able to have access to a washer and dryer that's working.
Exactly.
We're grateful for that.
And another way to raise some money. But there's all sorts of ways. I love the whole idea of what you're talking about with this mason jar concept and calculating how you want to participate. So what you're saying is pick a number, either $1, $3, $5, and you're going to put your money, put that amount every week. And do you double it every week, or how does that happen? You add $1 to it every week?
Yeah, I think the way that it grew over the calculation is that you add $1 to it each week.
So every week you would add $1, depending upon what you start with.
Right.
So, for example, if you're starting with $1, the next week you're going to do $2. The next week you're going to do $3, right?
Yeah.
The next week you're going to do $4, all the way up to the 52 weeks, and you keep adding that into your jar. So we're suggesting you pick either a $1 amount, a $3 amount, a $5 amount. Hey, some of y'all might pick a $10 amount.
Exactly.
And this is what exponential growth looks like.
Absolutely.
The key for this that I thought was wonderful when you introduced it, Dr. Money, was that you have to set your mind in a mindset so that you're ready to save. So your mindset must be a mindset where you understand first what we talked about on Tuesday. What's my relationship with money?
Absolutely.
Can I actually leave this money in the jar, or am I going to be tempted to pick it up because it's growing very nicely? What is my relationship with the money? And then know that in that relationship, I hope you all have done that exercise. In that relationship, I want you to start putting in your mind that you deserve to have that money. So there's no need to take it out and use it right now. You deserve to be able to let that money grow. And that's the mindset of growth and growing your money. So and the other part about that mindset is paying yourself first, because when you put that money in that jar, that's you paying you first. You're not paying a bill. You're not paying this. You're not paying that. Pretend like that money was never there. You plan for it ahead of time and you put it in the jar and watch it grow. And the gratitude part, so important to have that mindset of gratitude. Be grateful that you can put the money in the jar and make it a habit. This could be something that really benefits you and those around you if they see you doing it. So let's get our mindset ready. And Dr. Money, can you tell us now a little bit more about this idea of exponential growth and how money grows in that way?
Well, the idea is that not only do you add additional dollars to the money, but the real plan is to put your money someplace where it does have the opportunity to grow. And so a lot of times when you talk to financial advisors, they will take you through illustrations to show you how money grows with compound interest and the benefit of having your money be in a account that allows the interest to compound. And so typically what happens is if you have an interest bearing account, it will provide you with so much interest based on the amount of money you have on deposit. If you don't touch that money, then what happens is that interest adds to the principal and the interest continues to add and build. And so that's where the interest is compounding. So each time that you add whatever the interest rate is, that money is growing by the interest rate. Frankly, in the US, we have had unusually low interest rates as we have had to stimulate the economy. And one of the ways was to keep the interest rates low so that lending and borrowing would be at a lower rate. But so the benefit is that you can borrow at a lower interest rate. Well, the downside of that is that those who were looking to have money in savings or money market types accounts, bank accounts that would typically earn some type of interest. Right now, the interest is so low that it's not even keeping pace with inflation. So typically you want to understand what the annual rate of inflation, which typically ranges somewhere at about 3% a year. And so when you think about that, you want to look for ways to make sure that your money is gaining at a minimum, at least a 3% interest rate a year, just to even break even with inflation, so you're looking for strategies that will allow you to earn in excess of 3% a year. And so when you think about that, then it's about diversifying. One of the apps that took off and had significant growth this past year was Robinhood. And I went on Robinhood, and I actually like the app because one, it's easy, it's on the phone. And so what I started doing was kind of some of this simple stuff where I pick up the app and I go, okay, well, let me just transfer some money in and make some, selections, and just, again, just keep putting money in and allow that money to grow. By acquiring the shares that you want to have ownership in and continuing to do that. And what happens over a period of time, and again, we've had a bunch of financial planners on, and I would say that a great way, if you want to get some specific advice regarding ways that your money can grow, is to speak to a financial advisor. I always say, look for a financial advisor who's a certified financial planner, a CFP. That's a signal that they have gained additional expertise and can look at your financial needs from a holistic perspective, because you have personal goals as well as, if you're in business or if you're in a career, you're going to have retirement goals. But what I encourage people to do is think beyond a 401k, because that vehicle was not meant to reflect the total needs of your retirement. So if you're only supporting a 401k, then chances are you're underfunding the needs, the long-term needs for your retirement. So if you're in an environment where you have an employer, especially if they do a match, then you want to maximize the money that you contribute to that plan, because you're going to get a match, right? So that's additional money contributed on your behalf. So receive any free money that you can get, but then also diversify your interests so that your money can grow.
And those are ways for your money to grow. I know at, is it drmoneylive.com?
Yeah. It's cool. Actually drmoney.live.
drmoney.live. Yes. And you'll be able to find some financial tools and information and things like that. Of course, you can go to the beyondstory.com page to get some mindset information, and think about how important you are. Think about you being that special person. That note that I pulled out, I'm glad I got good genes so I could look cute in my jeans.
Yeah.
Each of us, we have our unique genes. We have our unique self. That's the secret sauce in everything. It's you. So each of you can grow your money so that it works for you. And remember some of the tools that Dr. Money just talked about, the Robinhood tool. I tried to log on to Robinhood, and I don't know why it kept kicking me out, and I never was able to log on. But let me tell you, we talked about tracking on Tuesday. Yeah. And it is so important to really track your money. Now, I already gave you, I'm the bad money person, okay? In terms of, I can tell you all my things that I've made mistakes on. So you could definitely learn from me. I'm much better now, but believe me, I have had my issues in tracking and keeping track of money. Well, I will try things. And as you can see with all my gray, my gray means I think I don't remember things as well anymore either. So I had someone gift me some gold they said, oh, I want to give you this gift of gold. Just sign up for this account. Now I knew it was going to be some kind of something they wanted me to do later, but I was like, well, if they're going to gift me some gold, I still can say no to the rest of the stuff, but I'll take the gold. So I signed up the account, and then they called me and they said, well, let me just walk you through it so I can show you what this account is about. And they showed me, and they said, now what you really should do is get some Bitcoin right now, because this Bitcoin is really going to be worth a lot. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I've been hearing about Bitcoin, and I did this some time ago. So the person called me last night. I forgot about this account. I totally forgot about it. And I have a lot of Bitcoin right now. I didn't think I owned Bitcoin, because I was thinking, man, I wish I had gotten on that Bitcoin. A lot of people told me about that Bitcoin, and I didn't do it. And she said, have you looked at your Bitcoin? Remember, you got the little bit of Bitcoin? And I said, oh, yeah, girl. But I said, I don't think I got it. She said, no, you did. I walked you through it. I walked you through the whole process. And you were like, oh, okay, I'll get a little bit. And the price was high when I got it. So I didn't get, but the price has tripled. So I have to start tracking my money.
Absolutely.
Exponential growth works.
Yes.
You put a little in and you watch it grow. Now, if you put a little in, if I had kept putting a little in,
sure.
Can you imagine? I would be saying, Dr. Money, I'm actually in Jamaica again.
Exactly.
I didn't tell you.
Exactly. So that's what we're aiming for, is to be able to live and work and play from anywhere in the world and not be concerned about the money, the resources required, because you're able to do the work that you love. I mean, that has been the beauty of being an entrepreneur. Certainly you can do the work that you love, do it with passion, and be able to live life, that what we say is that balanced life of being able to live, work, and play, right? We need to have a little bit of all three in the formula in order to have a balanced life.
So let's kind of start wrapping this up. I hope everyone gets their mason jar. I have so many problems with the camera. Like, how is this supposed to work? Get your mason jar.
Woo! Get your jar. You have your
notes.
So you can write.
Get your post-it notes in. Right. And begin your jar today. Begin today. Because this is the first week of the year. So you can start today. Get your mason jar. Get your notes. Put that $1 in, or that $3, or that $5. I'm trying to think, if I did $5, how much I'm going to have to do by the end of the year.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to post to Facebook the spreadsheet that I put together to calculate it for everyone.
Perfect.
But it will be posted under the show link on all the pages, and we can post it to both Beyond Story as well. So send you the link.
That'll be great. I think it would mean I would be putting in about $200 or $250 or something on my last week.
Oh, absolutely.
That's not bad. I think I could do that. I think I might try a $5 one and then see how much I'll have at the end, because I think that would really be a nice little sum. If you're going to have $1,300 with $1,
right? Exactly.
About $3,000 or $4,000.
Well, yeah, I did. I ran a bunch of calculations, and I meant to have it ready. Just one of those mornings where just a little bit everything off schedule.
Yes.
Someone had a late flight, so we'll blame it on that.
Okay. Well, that's okay. We learned a little bit about the exponential growth calculator. You can go to drmoney.live to set that up, and we'll get that posted by the end of the week.
Absolutely. And I see someone in the comments was asking how to reach out to me. You can reach me at info at drmoney.live, Live. And that's how you can reach me. And then from there, I'll send you a link for a consultation. So yes, feel free. Info at drmoney.live.
And we're actually putting together information so that we'll have a website for the Money and Mindset show. And it'll have the tools and some of the things that we've discussed on this show. So we're really, really happy that all of you joined us. Hey, Annette, that's one of my high school friends, Annette James. I am loving that she's here today. And I hope you're safe, because Annette, I think, is still in Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. So hopefully you are safe and sound, because there was so much going on in the DC area. And I have friends and family there that I'm really praying are taking care of themselves and are well. We will be back next week.
Yes, that's exciting. What we've decided to do is to be able to go to once a week, because of course we're both occupied with other commitments. And so we're going to be doing the Dr. Money Live show is going to come out. And so that's going to end up happening once a week. So it was a great idea to move this to a once a week show. And then we'll be able to replay the episodes throughout the week. So Tuesday is going to be our new day, and 9 a.m. will be our new time. So we get a new date, fixed date, and a new time. Yay for 9 a.m. Yay. That's 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So Obviously, if you're in a different time zone, add the adjustments for your reflective time zone. But for those of us, when we're coming in from the West Coast, see, it was cool when I was still in Jamaica because I was 3 hours ahead. But suddenly when I got back to Pacific time, this 8 a.m. wasn't quite as easy for some people who like to stay up late and do work. It's like, yeah, let's make some adjustments. So Tuesday, don't miss us. We'll be coming to you live every Tuesday at 9 a.m. And TG, Story Genius, what else you want them to know before we sign out?
I also want you all to know a couple of things going on in the mindset space and in the grant writing space, because anybody who knows, I am the story person. And with my stories, I share how to raise money. And we are living in unprecedented times right now. Normally, you would not be able to get grant funding for regular businesses. Grants are for nonprofits. Sometimes you might be able to get a grant for technical assistance, but you would not be able to get a grant for your business. But if you have a business, or if you have a business idea, right now is a very good time to look at grants. So tomorrow, I'm going to be working with a person from the SBA doing a webinar, free webinar, and it will be on Zoom. I'm going to put the link in my Beyond Story page on Facebook. So if you go to the Facebook Beyond Story page and follow Beyond Story, you will be able to get access to the webinar. And we're going to be giving some good information on the COVID funds that are out here right now, and talking with people about how they can build their businesses up in terms of using grant funding. Because we do actually have grants out here right now for businesses, and that is not normally the case. Of course, if you're a nonprofit, there's always grants out there for you, but there's even more right now because we need people doing good in this type of in this type of environment during this pandemic. So the grants we'll be talking about are disaster recovery grants. If you have had a business since 2019, you're more than likely eligible for disaster recovery grants. If you haven't had a business since 2019, you probably want to just pop in anyway so you can start getting your business stuff in order. All right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know,
Beyond Story Facebook page for the information.
Absolutely. You're right. And I'm so glad that you shared that reminder, because normally, you're right, regular businesses don't have an opportunity for grants, and there's so many grants. As well as I want to remind people to get your paperwork in order, because the second wave of PPPs are being organized with the criteria, because that has been approved. So there will begin to be opportunities to process PPPs, and there's additional lenders that and portals, online portals, that don't require you to have an existing relationship, which means that those opportunities exist as well as still additional funding through the EIDL loan program, which is a loan, but it's the best capital finance that you can get. I mean, with Blue Diamond Capital, where we source companies for their commercial finance, when we're working with clients looking for ways to find debt options for their business, commercial financing can be challenging to acquire, because you need to have set up your business in a certain manner, and you need to conduct your business in a certain way. And so oftentimes there's a lot of things that impede companies, especially in the early stages, from meeting all the various requirements. But these are governmental programs, and so they're aimed at having some help in the program. I mean, they're still asking for financials. If you don't have actual financials, they will allow a draft statement, but we have to create a reason, notes to those financials and notes to why you're using a draft return as opposed to a completed return at this point, because 2019 should have been filed. But if for some reason you filed an extension, and even if for some reason you missed that extension date, we have to be able to explain those nuances to your package in order to submit it. But there are ways. So you want to speak with someone who's been successful with processing these types of packages. And at Blue Diamond Capital, we've been working with businesses to help them with both their SBA PPP as well as EIDL loan applications, and working with Dr. Thyonne here with helping clients with their grants. We've been being a tag team here. Hey,
Yep.
Yeah, can you help some folks? They need their story and their packages. That narrative created. I'll do some calculations. You can handle the rest.
Yep.
Let's see if we can help folks be blessed this time around.
So join us next week. On what day are we coming back?
We're coming back Tuesday. We'll be here Tuesday, and we'll be ready for you at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, adjust that for your time zone. Don't forget, come back to Money and Mindset. Our website, Money and Mindset with the Doctors, will be live in the next week or so. So look out for that as well. We'll get a chance to announce next week once that's fully live and ready to go. But we look forward to seeing you next week.
See you guys,
everyone. And thank you for joining us today.